Well, here in northern Indiana, southern Michigan, you think about color year-round, and today on the program we're going to be featuring season-long color, which, Mark Linton, is so critically important when you're planning landscape, especially at a new home such as this here today.
It is, and unfortunately what we see with our home and garden center is our guests that come out there and they're shopping for plants, they're doing it to themselves. Of course, they fall in love with everything that's got flowers on it at that time of the year. And so say if they visited in the springtime, they scooped up everything with flowers on it and then went home and planted it, but then come summer and fall, they had nothing.
Yeah, you know, I think we're all guilty of that, aren't we?
It is hard to fall in love with a perennial that doesn't have a flower on it.
That's right. You just have to really believe that someday it's going to turn out special.
Trust me.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, this is a beautiful home, and it's on the edge of a neighborhood that's been recently developed. Gets a lot of attention. It's right near the corner of a busy intersection.
Yes, we've had quite an audience driving by here as we've been working on this project.
Yeah, well, tell me some of the challenges about new home construction and how what you do at Linton's kind of blends into all of that.
Okay, well, working for this homeowner, they expressed that they wanted low maintenance and they wanted a season-long color. And I feel that what we achieved here definitely met their specifications.
Well, you have to teach that principle a lot, but in this case, they were telling you low maintenance and year-long color, so you didn't really have to educate them much, right?
They understood the importance of it.
Wow,
absolutely.
Very impressive. Well, what do you have to start with here, Mark?
Well, Craig, we are anchoring the corner here with a beautiful Wichita blue. It is in the evergreen family, but it's not green, it is blue. And so actually you can get color with evergreens, different shades of greens. We've got blue colored evergreens, and a little later we're going to be sharing with the viewers some of our golden colored evergreens.
Yeah, and the evergreen is really what pops during the winter months. You get that white snow going, and you can't beat the look.
Exactly, and that's another thing that gardeners tend to forget is here in Michiana, you've got fall, winter, and early spring, where we really heavily depend upon the evergreens as the bones of the landscape.
I like the look there, I really do.
Well, thank you.
What about here?
Well, down at the base of our feet here, this is one of our low maintenance roses. These are drift roses. They bloom non-stop, and you see a lot of color here and a lot of future color with all these flower buds here. And I've got them laid out so they're following the curve of the sidewalk. As the homeowner's guests come walking up here, they're greeted by a nice splash of color.
Color is important when you greet guests, isn't it?
It is.
Makes you feel warm and invited.
Absolutely.
Yeah. What about here?
Well, we've got a couple of rosy glow barberries, and with the gray exterior, I particularly like the burgundy colored leaves. As these grow and mature, they're going to get to be about 3 to 4 feet in height, and going to tend to keep them pruned so they're more columnar or upright. So we're framing the window on the side of the garage here with the barberries. They'll bloom with little pink bell-shaped flowers in the springtime. And then for some winter interest, we've got some globe-shaped boxwoods, which will be very easily maintained below the base of the window. And you not only see this one here, but we've got another window, and there's a boxwood placed below that as well.
I love what you're doing here with the color contrasting. And you mentioned earlier, we've got dark asphalt shingles and a dark door, which we'll see in a little bit. But
yes,
the ground cover choice here, again, dark, and all of that for a reason, correct?
Absolutely, just to tie in with the exterior of the house. This is our black bark ground cover. It looks very rich, very organic, and ties in perfectly with the black front door, the black light fixtures, and the black asphalt roof.
Yeah, it all ties together. Nice package. This is cool.
It is, and it's an opportunity for some height here, kind of space in between the two windows. And this is one of our Chinese dogwoods, very unusual because it's a summer blooming dogwood. This blooms with pink flowers in the summertime, where our native dogwood trees bloom in the springtime. And so you get to have about 4 to 5 weeks of flowers on this tree. Blooms the entire month of June and typically into the first week of July.
You know, I really have a high appreciation, Mark, for what you do at Linton's, obviously, but everything that we see here looks so fresh and so well cared for. How many years have gone into some of these products? Huh?
Well,
Several,
thank you.
Right?
Well, the dogwood tree that we just featured, we've been growing that for probably a good 12 years.
Isn't that something? Wow. And you can't do that if you've just started a
No.
business, right?
We have our own nursery. We've got 40
Yeah.
acres located in Bristol, just a couple miles away from our gardens are.
36 years in business, you can kind of have that thing going on once in a while.
Absolutely.
Cool. What about
This is one of our hardy geraniums, very different than the annual geraniums, but this is a perennial, comes back year after year. I love these lavender colored flowers here. Not only blooms at this time of the year, but blooms in the spring and the summertime, kind of a nonstop show of color.
Uh-huh. Boy, this homeowner is not going to have to pay any attention, hardly at all, to maintaining here.
It is going to be incredibly low maintenance. And speaking of low maintenance, dwarf Alberta spruce, they do an incredibly good job of naturally shaping themselves, very minimal pruning. We're wanting just a little bit of height here on the corner of their front porch. Really don't want to hide any of the architectural details here. The home is absolutely spectacular.
It is.
Just want to enhance the beauty of it.
Yeah.
On the other side of the sidewalk, we had a challenge here, and unfortunately, it was probably about the worst possible place to place a wellhead. And that was one of the biggest concerns of the homeowner. You know, we call these necessary evils, and they just aren't very attractive.
Yeah.
And so we have these artificial boulders. They're actually made out of fiberglass, and Craig, these are incredibly tough.
Wow, they are.
But does a good job of covering that up, and if you ever need access to it, just simply pop it off, and you've got easy access.
You know, we've come a long way, haven't we? Back in the day, we would have just had that look and lived with it.
Exactly.
And maybe not even thought much about it. But
Right.
today, you wouldn't have even known.
We've got some good solutions to those type of problems.
Yeah, cool.
We're surrounding this again with our low maintenance roses. These happen to be kind of a coral or apricot color. The homeowners here love to sit on the front porch. I like their selection of the white rockers there.
Yeah.
And so we wanted to keep these plantings low. We've got some balance and symmetry going on here. A couple of globe boxwoods which won't interrupt the view, and then splashes of color with our moonbeam coreopsis. And just like the hardy geranium, these coreopsis are nonstop bloomers all spring, all summer, and fall, all the way up until frost.
Splashes of color go a long way, don't they? You don't need tons on top of each other.
Absolutely, Craig. And
Yeah.
love how the yellow contrasts with that dark black bark there.
That's rich. That's a rich look there. I love
So
it.
you're going to see those coreopsis continue on to the other side of
Sure.
the sidewalk. We've got a twin dwarf Alberta spruce. This boulder, I challenge you to lift that one up.
Oh, so there's not a sprinkler head, or I'm sorry, a wellhead under here?
No, there's quite a bit of
That's a real
weight
one.
there.
Yeah.
It absolutely is. And the cool thing is you really can't tell the difference.
No, you
So-
can't. You absolutely can't. What
I
about
was
here?
explaining earlier to
sure.
the viewers about the different colors of evergreens. Well, here's one of our golden colored evergreens. It's our gold thread cypress. Maintains that golden color 12 months out of the year. So even during the dead of wintertime, we've got splashes of color, different shades of green. We've got gold and blues in our evergreens as well.
Do you tend to plant more of these the closer you get to Notre Dame? Because that color screams Notre Dame football
and you
this
just
time
need
of
to
year.
put some of those blue colored perennials right next to it, blue and gold.
Yeah, there you go. Well, what else here,
Well,
Mark?
directly behind you here is one of the homeowners' requests, and they asked for a flowering cherry tree. This happens to be one of our weeping cherry trees, and this provides color in the springtime. Actually blooms with the flowers prior to the tree leafing out. I love the weeping branch structure here. This is going to get to be about 10, 12 feet in height in about another 10 years.
Very good. Well, Mark, we've got just a few seconds remaining here in the segment. Tell us a little bit about how this blends into the side yard.
Well, we had a little bit of space here underneath these upper windows, and so selected this ornamental grass that gets to be about 5-6 feet in height. Selected for the beautiful green and white striped leaves.
Nice.
And then we've got another blue Wichita juniper, which perfectly matches the one that we started out with.
Symmetry all comes back again, doesn't it?
Balance and symmetry, absolutely.
That's great. Well, whether you've got a brand new home, an existing home, or even thinking about doing something in the home that you're currently in, there's all kinds of ideas that you can get from Linton's. Check out with the pros here at Linton's Enchanted Gardens for all the details. Mark, really nice job today.
Thank you.
And I know a lot of homeowners, when they get into a new home, they just use the package, but this puts it way on a different level, doesn't it?
It does.
Really does.
Turned out really nice.
More coming up on the program. Stay with us. We'll be right back.